Depression is no laughing matter. Depression, along with anxiety, is a major problem for teenagers all over the United States. Many are too afraid to ever say anything to anyone about it or don't say anything because they feel as if they don't have anyone to talk to. This is why I believe that we should employ a full-time therapist at Lewis County High School. While we have a guidance counselor, many people don't feel as though he is very good to talk to about their personal problems, and the teachers we do feel comfortable talking to sometimes aren't objective and aren't certified to provide professional help. Seeing as to how poverty is an issue in our community, some students who need to see a therapist may not be able to even afford one. Also, knowing there is a person to talk to, students may not feel as if they are so alone that they feel that suicide is the only way out. Mental illness is a great epidemic among the youth of America. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, over 3 million teenagers between the ages of 12 to 17 struggle with depression or some other form of mental illness. Being someone who has had their own struggles with depression and anxiety, I know firsthand how difficult it is to find someone to talk to. Our guidance counselor is great for help with scholarship essays and financial aid help, but I couldn't possibly fathom going to him about any personal struggles. While I do have a special teacher that I trust enough and feel comfortable enough to talk to about things, and she offers great advice, she is not a certified therapist and cannot offer actual psychological help. If we had an actual therapist on hand at the school, they could present real psychological concepts to help us through our problems and even refer us to a psychiatrist if necessary. While teachers can be great for advice and venting, sometimes that is not enough. There are kids who struggle with very serious issues that certainly need a professional opinion. While it is great for people to have, therapy can be expensive. When you live in a place as full as poverty as Lewis County, this can be a problem. In my psychology class, when I spoke to our professor, Dr. Davis, he told us that therapy sessions can range from $250 to $450 per hour, and many people are not fortunate enough to be able to see a therapist. If we had a therapist at the school that our students could use, they wouldn't have to worry about finding the money to make an appointment with one. Many students in our county have to work long hours after school to support their own families, and some cannot even afford a doctor's visit when they are physically sick. The last thing they should have to worry about is finding money to get help for their depression or anxiety. A lot of teens who struggle with depression often struggle with the thoughts of suicide or self-harm as well. According to the Jason Foundation, suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst teenagers behind car accidents, and in the United States alone, there are 5,240 attempts by young people in grades 7 to 12 at suicide. This is not okay. Oftentimes, people feel afraid to say anything to their friends or even to teachers about having suicidal thoughts, but if they knew there was a professional therapist who could help them through it, who wouldn't judge them, they may be more likely to not attempt to kill themselves. Teen suicide is a serious problem in the United States, and we should be giving our kids the resources they need to get the help they deserve. While we have cards at the front desk with the suicide hotline number on it, many kids pass them every day and don't think to get one, and there isn't any push to specifically give them out either. If we had a therapist in the building, kids would know that there was someone to talk to and to help them, and would know that they could get the help they need. I didn't even know we had those cards until a friend of mine told me about them. Well, while I'm not against having the cards at school, and I'm definitely glad we do, it simply is not enough. I took a poll of my communications class, and most people in the class agreed that they would not, in fact, feel comfortable going to our very own guidance counselor with their personal issues. Many people will say that the school can't afford to help or hire a full-time therapist, but I believe, for the sake of the students' mental health, that they should make room in the budget so that we can give our youth the help they need. Mental health often gets overlooked as a serious condition because it is a sickness that people have to live with every day and still go about their personal lives as if nothing is wrong. It isn't like having a cold or the flu or something that people can see. It is far deeper than that, and people often think just because they can't see it, it doesn't exist. For those people who say it isn't real or not that serious, I say just look at the statistics. Kids are dying every day because they feel alone and as if they have no one to talk to. Our kids need and they deserve the help of someone trained in the field of psychology to give them the help that they truly deserve. I also found out in that poll that I mentioned earlier that most students would in fact feel comfortable going to a professional therapist if we had one here at the high school. Mental health is not an issue. Mental health is an issue and will continue to be an issue until we start to accept. Mental health is an issue and will continue to be an issue until we start to accept that it exists and that we start doing something about it. Hiring a professional therapist is the initiation of that process. Many students struggle with anxiety disorders and depression and have no one to talk to who can give them professional help. The ones who can find someone to talk to may not be able to afford the cost of going to see a therapist due to the expensive sessional prices. Also, as large as an issue that teen suicide is, we should never let a kid feel so alone that they think they have no way out. Hiring a therapist would take care of all of these issues and more, and if it could save the life of just one depressed teenager, then I think it would be well worth the financial cost to have someone on hand to help our kids. Thank you for your time.